¿Quieres ahorros como un verdadero VIP? Es bien fácil. Visita cualquier supermercado selecto, escanea el QR y accede al listado de especiales VIP de la semana. Descubre los productos seleccionados especialmente para ti. Ahorra en grandes marcas y productos exclusivos. Así de simple. Visita, escanea, descubre y aprovecha los ahorros exclusivos que Selectos tiene para ti. Aquí eres VIP.
Ok, no sé cómo presentar esta entrevista. Lo que siempre digo al principio, MoluscoTV, suscríbete a este canal de YouTube, dale a la campanita. Ahí está la caja de comentarios. Esta introducción es una introducción que ni la practiqué, ni estoy improvisando palabra tras palabra. Yo tengo frente a mí a una persona que una vez dije que mi sueño, mi goal era literalmente entrevistarlo. ¿Por qué? Porque yo crecí con él. Yo crecí viendo la serie que yo creo que todas las personas de mi generación y gente de otras generaciones vieron todo el tiempo. En el caso mío, yo la vi en español. Siempre pensé que su voz era en español y no en inglés. Obviamente, después que crecí, me di cuenta que esa no era su voz. Y vamos a estar hablando de eso en esta entrevista. Se me presenta la oportunidad de poder entrevistarlo, viajar aquí a Filadelfia, a su ciudad natal. Está en un lanzamiento mundial de un disco que tuve la oportunidad de escucharlo, donde profundiza muchísimo de un sinnúmero de cosas, ¿no? Ya después de ser un veterano, este pana quiere realmente ser él, quiere conocerse, quiere que la gente conozca quién él es. Tengo el honor de entrevistarlo para la plataforma. Espero no ponerme nervioso, porque tengo un pana aquí ahora mismo que, aunque es súper cool y toda la vuelta, yo no dejo de admirarlo todo el tiempo. Papi, yo tengo al lado mío un tipo que ha hecho tantas películas, un tipo mega exitoso. Quiero entrevistarlo, quiero presentárselo en Molusco TV, de Puerto Rico para el mundo. Aquí está Will Smith. ¡Haciendo historia!
Yes. Sí, haciendo historia.
Haciendo historia.
Estoy muy contento de estar aquí contigo.
Gracias.
En Filadelfia. Y gracias, ¿cómo se dice? For coming. Gracias
por venir.
Por venir. Gracias por venir. Es un gran placer.
Gracias por invitarme. Todavía me miro al espejo y digo, ¿por qué yo? Pero gracias. Dije que sí de una vez. Dije random, me hicieron una pregunta y, mano, realmente, ¿quién te falta por entrevistar? ¿A quién quisieras entrevistar? Y siempre he dicho que, mano, mi sueño es entrevistar a Will Smith, sentarme frente con Will Smith. Lo veía bien lejos. ¿Por qué? Porque vengo de una isla pequeña donde muchas veces te cierran como que, mano, hasta aquí vas a llegar. Y de repente cuando me dicen, mira, hay una oportunidad de entrevistar a Will Smith, yo no voy a creer, casi lloro. Y digo, cuenten conmigo, ¿qué hay que hacer? Y aquí estamos.
No, this is beautiful, man. Thank you for this opportunity. I really enjoy being in these scenarios. I can see like the energy in your eyes, and I can tell that there have been things that I've done in the past that have touched you, that you enjoyed, that you that have affected you. So for me, that touches me. It's like moments like this give my life and my art value. So thank you for your energy. Yeah.
No, para mí es igual y te lo agradezco. Y hablando de la energía y hablando de cosas del pasado, tuve la oportunidad de ayer ver unos videos. Estás en Filadelfia. Yeah. Ayer estuviste en la high school, en tu escuela. Vi a una de tus maestras. Estuviste hablándole a tu público frente a tu high school. ¿Qué representa para ti Filadelfia? ¿Qué representa para ti ese día de ayer donde tuviste esa conexión, entrar a la escuela donde tú estudiaste, clase del 87, luego de tantos años, verte hoy, ¿no? Ya con una carrera gigante. Pero ¿qué representa Filadelfia y qué representó estar ayer ahí con tu gente?
Yeah, so, yesterday they named a street after me, and it's the street that I walked across to go to school.
Wow.
Right. So and it's a bridge that goes from my neighborhood to the neighborhood that the school is in, and from the street sign it says Will Smith Way, and you can see my high school from the street sign. And my mother was there. And who is it? Who's calling? That's my mother. My mother. He's like, baby, can you bring some milk home?
Oye, dile que después le lleva leche después que terminamos la entrevista. Muy bien.
No, but it was such a really beautiful day, and it's funny. So people that I went to high school with are now council people and in the city. So I knew, half of the government officials that were there who had decided and voted to name a street, after me. And it's such a beautiful thing for me to know that kids will be walking that same bridge, and the idea of Will Smith Way.
Wow.
Right. So in English, Will Smith Way, the word way can mean street, and way can mean how you do something. Right. So the Will Smith way of doing things is like such a powerful name for that street. So that yesterday was it was really kind of overwhelming. I've won a lot of awards, but having a street that children are going to walk to school named after me is really, really powerful.
En tu vida, cuando caminabas en la calle, ¿pensaste que en algún momento esa calle se iba a llamar como tú? O sea, con tu nombre.
Never. It was like that. The idea of a street named, you have Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Exactly.
You have Obama Boulevard. You have Nelson Mandela, right? The idea that the friends and citizens of the town that I grew up in think that I am worthy of having a street named after me that's really overwhelming. That is a huge honor, and it sparks something in me to make sure that I live up to that. I want to live up to having a street named after me.
Yo lo que creo es que a las personas que han tenido grandes logros hay que honrarlas en vida. A mí no me gusta mucho que le pongan nombre a carreteras o a ciudades o a escuelas después que la persona murió. Muchas veces para mí por lo menos no tiene sentido muchas veces.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
Tiene sentido que murió.
Exactly. Yeah.
No queda de otra, hay que hacerlo. Premio de consolación. No. Vamos a dárselo en vida. Vamos a dárselo en vida. Y también Filadelfia, reconocemos que Filadelfia es un lugar cool, pero también tiene sus situaciones. Y vivimos en épocas donde los jóvenes están como que bien, no tienen motivación. Y de repente ver, Will Smith vino de aquí, de Filadelfia. Mi historia va a ser distinta, pero yo también lo puedo lograr. Y obviamente ver en la calle, pues se lo recuerda a los jóvenes que caminan por ahí todo el tiempo. Es lindo, es bonito.
Yeah, so, one of the things that I learned in my life is, life is cumulative in the idea that, every day you're building your life. My father told me that days are like bricks in a wall, and the quality of your days are like the qualities of a brick that you lay in the wall that you'll look back that will be your life. And how great is the wall of your life going to be? And it can only be determined by how well you lay one brick every single day, right? So the the recognition for me is that a single moment, a single thought, a single idea can change your whole perspective. And you just never know what it's going to be. You never know what the thing is going to be that sparks a young mind where that got it. Yeah. Where they get it. So, it is really it's a beautiful honor for me to be a part of just keeping the reminder that, you're walking steps that people have walked and they made it to the heights of this experience. You're walking those steps, which means you're already on a good path. So the recognition that this is a path that you can make it to the highest of your dreams that's gigantic for me. That's gigantic.
Lanzas tu disco basado en hechos reales, based on a true story.
I just want to say you look very handsome today. I'm looking at your hair and you're looking very handsome.
No, yo me puse bonito para ti.
Yeah.
¿Qué dice? ¿Cómo? No, pues yo me puse bonito para ti. Yo me puse bonito para ti porque yo voy a entrevistar a Príncipe Los Vélez. No.
Yeah, it's like it's distracting. You're really handsome. It's distracting.
No. Siempre me lo dice. Es el primero que me lo dice, by the way. Incluso en la caja de comentarios la gente está diciendo, Dios mío, Will Smith está tratando de complacer a Molusco, a los locos ahí, bendito Dios. Ok, se llama, voy a practicar el nombre porque yo no sé mucho inglés. Based on a true story.
Okay.
It's good?
Yeah, your English is very good. Voy a practicar español ahora.
Muy bien.
Okay, ¿tú practicas inglés? Okay.
Wow.
Voy a practicar.
Wow, qué difícil
español.
Me la pusiste. Pero vamos a practicar.
All right.
Ven acá. No la trae.
Okay.
Muy bien. Okay. Basado en hechos reales. Based on a true story.
Based on a true story.
This album.
Really good.
Is good.
Whoa, muy bien.
I love this game.
Yes.
Okay.
That was great.
Hay una canción acá dentro de tu álbum que se llama You Can Make It. Invitas a todos a luchar por lo difícil. Y tienes otra dentro del disco que se llama Beautiful Scars.
Yeah. Yes. Beautiful Scars, yes.
Excellent title.
Beautiful Scars is perfect, yes.
Beautiful Scars, okay.
¿Cómo se dice Beautiful Scars en español?
Cicatrices bonitas.
Cicatrices
bonitas.
Sí. Cicatrices
bonitas. Pero se escucha más lindo en inglés.
Okay.
Beautiful Scars.
Here's better say,
It's good.
It's good.
En esa última canción habla de lo bonito que son las cicatrices. Pero para que hayan cicatrices tiene que haber momentos difíciles.
Yeah.
Yo no suelo en mis entrevistas en entrar en momentos incómodos, pero todos en nuestra vida hemos tenido momentos difíciles. En tu caso, sabemos que los has tenido. ¿Cuál ha sido esos momentos más difíciles? ¿Cuál fue ha sido el golpe más duro dentro de tu vida?
So I've had a series of difficult times, throughout my life. And, the post Oscars was a difficult time in my life. The only difference being because I had difficult times before, I knew that I would take this moment. I knew that I would go internal. I would study. I would learn. I recognize difficulty as lessons. I recognize it as a curriculum that I'm being given from the universe to learn something that I need in order to be better. And I don't look at those things as something that's going to destroy me, something that's going to break me. I take a deep breath, relax, and lean into the difficulty, knowing that something great is going to come out of it. And the song, You Can Make It, was I sort of wanted to share the reality that I had discovered with people that if you're not dead, you have an opportunity to have all of the dreams that you have ever desired. That the way that the world works, as long as you're alive, magic is always possible. But a big part of accessing the magic is you have to believe in it. You have to believe that you can make it. You have to believe that you are going to take this situation and you are going to make greatness out of it, right? So that song is meant to communicate some of the difficulties of my life and the discovery that your attitude about the difficulty will make it better or worse. You know, everybody has hard times. Everybody's going to go through a breakup. Everybody's going to lose a job. Everybody is going to, be sick at some point. Everybody's going to lose a loved one, right? So we're all going to experience many of the same difficulties. And what makes the difference is our attitude towards it. Can we embrace the difficulty, and can we trust the universe? Can we trust life? Can we trust God? Can we trust ourselves to make greatness out of whatever difficulty we're presented with?
Convierte tu visión en realidad con Steelmaster. Las estructuras Steelmaster son la solución perfecta para cualquier proyecto o negocio. Nuestras estructuras son duraderas, versátiles, fáciles de instalar, costo eficiente. Contáctanos hoy y comienza tu proyecto con Steelmaster.
Todo el mundo dice que las situaciones que nos pasan es por algo, por una enseñanza, un aprendizaje.
Right.
Yo estoy especulando. Pienso que después de tu suceso del que acabas de hablar, tú cambiaste todo el andamiaje de tu carrera y la agenda y te fuiste por otro lado.
Yeah.
A nivel de que estás sacando un disco de rap donde te desahogas.
Yeah.
Y tu carrera va distinta como
Yes.
estaba corriendo hace 3, 4 años atrás. Eso cambió y te veo incluso hasta tu semblante distinto, tu aura distinta.
Yeah.
Y te veo que con todo y que tienes mucho trabajo, te lo estás disfrutando más hoy que ayer. No sé, eso es lo que veo porque yo te consumo.
Yeah, that is that's the craziest thing, right? And it's hard to say it to someone when they're going through something. Like when somebody is in the middle of a difficult time, it's hard to say, I promise you this is going to be great for you. I promise you, if you just like embrace it, you can cry for a minute, but I promise you the way that the universe teaches, the way that God teaches is through difficulty. That's how we learn how to be happy. We learn how to be happy by being, in situations that are not happy. There's a great lyric that I love on a song called Bulletproof on the album. And the lyric is, I've got the keys to heaven, but I earn them things in hell, right? And like that is a deep reality of this place. It's like in the gym, you get in good shape by like breaking your body down. The more difficulty you can handle, the better condition you'll be in. And that's the same thing in life. The more difficulty you can handle in a relationship, the better you'll be at a relationship. The more difficulty you can handle in starting a business, the more pain and fear you can handle, the better your business will be. And it's like that is a deep spiritual law that our suffering actually turns out to be a gift if we just let it unfold. And it's a hard idea, but I've learned that it's really true. And in that, the idea of bulletproof on the song, the idea is that when you recognize that difficulty can be a gift, you become bulletproof, right? Because you actually you want the difficulty because you know you'll be better for having solved whatever the problem is you're presented with.
Sin duda alguna, los momentos difíciles te hacen más fuerte. Ahí mismo tenía anotado dentro de mis notas, el tema dice que eres a prueba de bala, que también estuve viendo tu performance en la final de la CONCACAF, cantante esta canción en el final de la CONCACAF. Súper duro, rompiste full. Me imagino que estar en los escenarios después de tanto tiempo y seguir cantando y seguir siendo relevante debe sentirse sumamente increíble después de tantos años de carrera. Pero te pregunto, cuando tú dices en la canción de Bulletproof que era prueba de bala, ¿tú sientes realmente que eres a prueba de balas? O sea, porque la gente puede pensar que ser Will Smith es súper cool, que ser artista estrella es súper cool, pero no tienen ni idea de cuando esas cámaras apagan y cuando los micrófonos se cierran, lo difícil que es seguramente ser Will Smith.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, the more you have and do in life, the bigger your life is, the heavier your life is, right? So it's why, you know, monks and spiritual people, like, they don't even have clothes. Like, they have like one outfit and no money and like no refrigerator. They're like, listen, every single day I'm going to go out, and by having the minimum amount of stuff and responsibility, it's how you have the most amount of freedom in the world. So when you choose to have a big life and you take on, you want to have a business and you want to have a family and you want to have all those things. When you take that weight on, it demands a certain amount of sturdiness. You have to cultivate the ability to handle difficulty the more things you want to have, right? So, you know, everybody is having a hard time. So I don't think that my difficulties are unique, other than the fact of when you're you know, world famous and everybody is commenting every single day on every choice you make, that can have a weight to it. But when I say bulletproof is the recognition that I am capable to handle anything that happens in my life. And it's not that things won't happen. It's not that the bullets, quote unquote, bullets won't come. It's just the only way that they can hurt me is I have to embrace them. You know, that was the moment. Bulletproof is from Neo in the end of the Matrix. So I was basing it on that idea. Right? Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's like, yeah. And there was two different ideas with Neo in the Matrix. One was avoiding the bullets, and that was the cool thing. And the next thing at the end of the movie was they can't even touch him. That's a different kind of bulletproof. It's one to be able to escape the bullets, and it's another thing to be able to just stop them with your energy. Yes. Yeah, there's a force field. And that's the kind of bulletproof that I am cultivating and that I want to teach about, because we all have that ability.
Todo lo que estamos hablando viene por una cosa, y es que yo estoy frente al Príncipe de Bel-Air. Esta serie literalmente cambió tu vida. Cambió tu vida en todos los sentidos. Yo, con honestidad, ¿tú sabes cómo tú te escuchas en español? ¿Alguna vez has escuchado tu doblaje en el español?
Yeah, I've heard. Yes.
¿Lo escuchaste? La canción.
I've heard. You know, I want to learn the song. I've never learned it in Spanish. We're gonna learn now. Let's learn now. Let's go.
Yo me crié viendo tu serie de Príncipe of Bel-Air. Voy a ver a Will. Entonces, en casa, papi, no, va a empezar Will. Recuerda que nosotros venimos de una época que no había Netflix, que no había nada. O sea, era simplemente a la hora que presentaban en Puerto Rico. Creo que el programa lo daban a las 4 de la tarde. Y era en español. Wow. Yo siempre pensé que tu voz era esa. Yo cuando chamaquito. Mira. Y se escuchaba bien raro, mira esto.
Y esta es la historia, pongan atención, de cómo mi vida se transformó. Cambio de arriba abajo, lo que nunca pensé, y llegué a ser Will Smith.
That's hilarious. I'm going to learn that.
Horrible.
Yeah, I'm going to learn.
What the f horrible. Porque escucho tu voz, es distinta, es más gruesa y de repente ahí bien finita, como que no tiene sentido. Yo, ¿qué carajo es eso?
Ralph Supermercado y Mayorista ya está en San Juan en The Outlets at Monte y Edra. Haz tus compras sin pagar membresía y disfruta de todo lo que necesitas al mejor precio. Ralph, aquí todo es a tu gusto.
Es una gran serie, fanático de todos los personajes. Carlton, Jazz, cuando lo tiraban por la puerta, super cool. Pero a mí realmente, donde yo empecé, porque posiblemente uno no sabía mucho de tus capacidades, porque veíamos el personaje de Will Smith, estaba haciendo de Will Smith. Pero cuando yo supe que tú tenías madera para actuar, fue en el capítulo donde tu papá después de años apareció.
Yes.
Que se tuvo que ir al final. Y tío Phil, se marcó que tío Phil era tu papá de verdad. Y él no. Yo lloré muchísimo.
That does make me cry.
Yo lloré muchísimo.
But I'm not crying. This is just because my eyes is in the morning. Sometimes my eyes.
Not a morning person.
Not a morning person.
Yo no dormí porque te iba a entrevistar a ti. Yo casi no dormí. Dormí 3 hours. O sea, ahí desvelado. Voy a entrevistar a Will Smith. Anda para voy a entrevistar a Will Smith. No puedo dormir. O sea, estoy soñando. Estoy como una cosa rara. Ese capítulo de Fresh Prince con tu papá y tío Phil fue el más difícil de grabar. Para mí fue uno de los que más recuerdo.
Yeah. No, that episode was definitely the hardest on the Fresh Prince, right? So, everybody on the show was stage trained actors. So they had all done Broadway. They had all done, stage, and everybody had more experience. Even Tatiana Ali at 11 years old had more acting experience than me at that time.
Wow.
Right. So, it was, Joseph Marcel was, with the Royal Shakespeare Company. So everybody on that show was real live actors. Right. So this was like my moment to join the club of what it meant to be a real actor. And, the week was difficult because all week I know that scene is coming, right? And we would rehearse Monday to Thursday, and then we would shoot in front of a live audience on Friday. So that's live, right? So it's like a stage performance because it's in front of an audience. And
live.
It's live. Yeah, we would do it. We would do it live in front of an audience, and then when you would see it, they would cut it and put it up. But the original
one take
is we do. We do. Well, we got to do other takes, but we would do it live.
Yeah.
And so we would have one section we would do in front of the audience, and then we had a section that we would shoot after if there were things that didn't go well. Right. So you could fix things later, but it was live in front of the audience. So, all week long, I know that scene is coming. I know the scene is coming. And I blew it. I messed it up in front of the audience, and we had to stop. And then we had to back up in front of the live audience and go again. And, James Avery just grabbed me and he said, "Hey," because I was freaking out. And he was like, "Right here." And he said, "Action," and called, and then we did the scene again. And it was like one of my greatest moments on the entire show. I became an actor in that moment. I became a real actor in that moment.
Wow. ¿Cómo te sientes que marcaste a una generación con esa serie?
Yeah. It's so crazy. It's, I just really got a dose of that understanding about 3 weeks ago with the Doechii post. I don't know, did you see? There was Doechii did a song, and a fan cut one of the scenes from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to a Doechii song. and it just went crazy viral. And now the dance from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is a trend that kids are doing. And they don't even realize that it was 35 years ago.
Wow.
It was 35 years ago. And, Tatiana was 11.
Lo vi que lo subiste recientemente con ella, hiciste un collab con ella.
We
Lo
posted
vi
it.
en tu cuenta de Instagram. Lo intenté hacer, bailo feo con sí, la realidad que hace.
I know, no, me either. I can't do that too well either.
Es brutal, a mí me encanta ese baile. Yo lo bailo dentro de mí porque por afuera me queda malo.
Dance. Yeah, you got to dance on the inside for sure.
Muy bien. Tu carrera del cine, yo estoy frente a... O sea, nunca te sientas y dices, mano, yo hice Independence Day, Men in Black, Wild West, Ali.
Yeah.
Great performance.
Thank you, man.
Pero cuando analizo, yo creo que una de las películas que a mí más también me impactó tuya, que ahí yo dije, este tipo está a otro nivel actuando, fue cuando hiciste la primera película que fue que debutó Jaden, tu hijo.
Yes, Pursuit of Happiness.
Ayúdame con el título, es un título largo, dilo tú. ¿Cómo se llama?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Te queda lindísimo, te queda bello, a ti a mí me queda feo como es.
I know.
La escena del subway, cuando estás en el baño del subway. ¿Qué tan duro fue grabarla con tu hijo pequeño en tus brazos, haciéndole creer que todo está bien, que nada pasa, que eso es normal? Esa para mí es una de las escenas. Esa y obviamente cuando al final lo logras, que sale la lágrima. Como que, wow, nieta, lo logré. ¿Qué tan valiosa para ti es esa escena? Todavía ya Jaden grande, pero mirándola. Tu hijo pequeñito contigo actuando con papi.
Yeah, it is that movie, the Pursuit of Happiness and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and of all the things I've ever done in my career, are the two things that people comment and they walk up to me on the street and speak about, right? So more people around the world talk about the Pursuit of Happiness and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air than anything I've ever done. And those two pieces of art, they really sort of help me define who and how I want to be in the world. A guy came to me and he said, hey man, he said, I saw the Pursuit of Happiness, it was, 15 years ago or something like that. And he said, when I saw the Pursuit of Happiness, I was living in my car.
Wow.
And he said, thank you for that movie, because it was exactly what I needed in a moment when I was considering maybe I didn't want to be here anymore. And to me as an artist, like, that is the highest, that you create something that, even if it's just a moment, even if it's just a day, that it helps someone continue and figure out how they're going to be here. Life is difficult for everybody. And I think as an artist, I love being able to be a spark of joy, a spark of inspiration, and, to create things that help people figure this thing out.
Súper duro. A mí esa película me encantó, me impactó muchísimo. Sacando lo que es Fresh Prince, sacando lo que es esa película, si pudieras escoger otra película que defina realmente tu carrera, que defina tu carrera, ¿cuál otra película tú tendrías que escoger para ponerla ahí?
That defined, let me see. I think there are so Bad Boys is probably the most fun.
I love Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, yes.
Bad Boys, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith. Wow.
Yeah, Bad Boys. So Mike Lowry is the character I've played that I wish I was. Right. So Mike Lowry is like my alter ego.
Hey.
That's like the character that I wish I was. If you went inside of you know, my interior world, you know, Mike Lowry is the leader in there. That's the guy that I wish that I could be in real life. And I would say if there's a character that I played that was most transformative, I think Muhammad Ali, playing Ali. What happens when you play a character? It's almost like you're trying on a personality, right? So just imagine that you could just not be you for like 4 months. And that's what happens when you put on a character.
Wow.
You actually, you know, everybody was calling me champ and all of that. And I built the circle around me where I was,
wow,
you know, living as Muhammad Ali for those 4 months. And what happens is you see how a person like that has made great, powerful contributions. You see how they're different than you. So you can compare the choices of Muhammad Ali and the difficulties of Muhammad Ali. I was able to compare them to Will. And then there's things that you want to take away. There's aspects you're scared of, but you get a good look at yourself when you put on a character like that. So I would say Muhammad Ali was one of the most transformative characters I ever played. I did a movie called Emancipation a couple of years ago, and that was a different kind of transformative. But Ali and Emancipation really helped shape my worldview and my decisions of how I want to be a human.
Qué duro. Volviendo al disco, hay una canción que se llama Work of Art con Jaden.
Yes.
Esa canción dice: soy el juez, la víctima y el que disparo.
Yes.
Esa frase está dura. Tú tocas ese tema, en ese tema que te dice lo que somos como humanos, ¿no?
Yes.
¿Por qué para ti fue importante escribir este tema? O sea, y cuando ya escuchaste el producto final, si muchas veces uno escribe un tema, bueno, los que escriben música, es para poder desahogarse. ¿Logró el objetivo?
Yeah, yes, right. So it was so I'm writing in two ways now. I'm writing in one way for me. I'm writing a song for me because I'm exploring myself and expressing myself. And then the other side of it is I'm writing to share the things that I discover with my fellow human travelers, because I recognize that everybody's trying to figure it out. So anything that I can share or help, I want to do that, right? So the idea that of work of art is the idea that all the aspects of what it means to be human, I am. I'm not just the good things that I put out as Will Smith, right? There are other aspects of me too. There's good, there's bad, there's ugly. And cultivating the freedom to share all of it and be honest about all of it is what this next phase of my life and specifically musical career is about. So that line, I am the judge, I am the victim, and I'm the shooter, is talking about the scenario where, one person is sitting as the judge and one person is the defendant and one person is the victim. And we think of those as three different people, but we're all of those at different points in our lives. And the recognition that at any moment and only by the grace of God are you the one that you are. At any given moment, we want to have compassion for all of the other people involved because we are all the other people involved at different times and in different circumstances. So as a judge, you have to understand and have compassion for the victim, but you also have to understand, have compassion for the shooter. And as the shooter, you have to have compassion for yourself. You have to understand the necessity of the judge, and you have to be able to relate to the victim and the family of the victim. And it's like the only way we're going to be able to interact with each other is if we accept that we're all the same. We all embody all of the aspects of humanity, and we're not better than each other in that way.
Cuando hacían música, Welcome to Miami, era de Jiggy Jiggy with it, na 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 Jiggy Jiggy with it, na na na. Pero me imagino que tú dijiste, o sea, ya no eres el joven que simplemente le escribía a las nenas o al party, al jangueo. Ahora es música con sentido. ¿Qué tan distante están?
So I'm thinking of it and thinking of all the Will Smiths, and the idea of based on a true story is that all the different versions and variations of me over the years are a part of a whole, right? So the way that I'm doing my show, so I'm going on tour this summer, so I'm giving all of the nostalgia. So I'm going hard at, all of the different variations of Will Smith will show up at the concert. And I begin the show with the nostalgia. And I have probably about an hour of the beginning of the show is all of the flavors of, the Will Smith that you've grown to know and love. And then I transition into the new music and, a little bit deeper mood. And then I go out with the fun and flavor. So, I think that we're all evolving. And I think part of the difficulty is letting go of the previous self. And, the problem is that the previous self really did some great things for us. Right? It's like,
claro.
Who you were 10 years ago was perfect for 10 years ago. It's just not, but now that it's almost like it feels like it has to die, right? So a part of you has to die. It doesn't have to go away. It just has to not be who's in charge now. You have different experiences, and you'll use the gems and the nourishment of the previous self, but the courage to be the new me is what music is helping me do right now.
Yo soy mi profesión. Yo soy locutor de radio. Yo salgo de la radio. Empecé a hacer radio bien joven, a los 16 años de edad en Puerto Rico. Me fui desarrollando y en la época del 2000, 2001, yo tenía unas frases que eran frases de cuando yo era joven en la radio. Güey, párate, relax, o sea, un montón de estupidez. Que en aquel momento era cool. Yo hago mis frases de cuando tenía 20 años, ahora que tengo 44, me voy a sentir como ridículo. Cuando empezaste de nuevo a coquetear con hacer escenario, estuviste con Ibai en la velada en España, increíble. Y que empezaste a cantar tus canciones del pasado, Miami, y Llegue, Güere, todas estas canciones, que no sé si se llama así, pero yo sé que dice Llegue, Güere, nada. Tú dijiste, ¿cómo te sentiste? Pues, ya estoy cantando estas canciones que yo las cantaba cuando era joven. O sea, no sé cómo la gente me está mirando, no sé cómo. Porque yo considero que tú eres una figura que aunque sigas cumpliendo años, para mí tú sigues siendo Will Smith. A diferencia de otras figuras que dicen, está envejeciendo. Tú no envejeces. Además, tú eres negro y los negros se ven cabrones siempre. El negro se ve cabrón siempre. Yo envidio tu piel. Full. Pero
Well, no, you say, yeah, I have people that put some glue on it too, though. Yeah, you got to keep it put a little glue on it to hold it together.
Okay. Porque te pega para la oreja, para pegar esta vuelta. Pero ¿cómo te sentiste cantando tus canciones del pasado, ya siendo veterano en la música y también en la actuación y en todo lo que haces?
You know, that was really a part of the difficulty of making new music. The old records and the old movies and all of those things are so gigantic, and they are so like beloved in people's hearts, right? So the difficulty in the world right now, the way the world is really a hard place for people right now, and just the future is so uncertain. So nostalgia is like delicious. People love the feeling of just a simpler time. So I started off a little like I didn't want to do jiggy with it, but then I realized no, that's a part of the tapestry. It's a part of the color spectrum of Will Smith. And I started feeling good to do that, and just to see if people can I give enough of that people will feel comfortable to take these gentle steps with me into my new artistic expression, right? So I'm like, so it's like, I know, yeah. Shaking it just a little bit,
Un poquito de crema por aquí, llámame al quiropráctico.
Yes, exactly. But it's been good. I've done about 10 shows. So I've been mixing, even in the game with Mexico, Panama, the CONCACAF. So I did Jiggy and Men in Black, and then gently went into Bulletproof to see if I can give a taste of the new and see if they can go together in people's hearts. I'm hoping that people will make room in their hearts for the new expression that is blossoming for me right now.
Estaba escuchando una entrevista que hiciste en el evento de iHeart con Enrique Santos, que es amigo, saludo a Enrique Santos, donde estabas hablando de Bad Bunny, estabas hablando de que tuviste la oportunidad de hablar con él y le preguntaste, ¿cuántos shows tú hiciste? Ah, no, 200 shows. Esto no es para jóvenes, no es para mí.
Yeah.
Comentaste que nunca has hecho gira mundial de tu música y que por primera vez ahora vas a hacer tu primera gira mundial de tu música con esta nueva producción y obviamente con los éxitos. Y me imagino que será, además de toda la música, será una experiencia ir a ver a Will Smith hacer música a través del mundo. Número uno, ¿cómo eso te hace sentir? Y número dos, ¿cómo te estás preparando? Porque necesitas condición física, necesitas ponerte, porque te tienes que mover en el escenario, hay que ensayar. Tú no te ves, tú no tienes cara de que eres un chapucero, tú te ves cara de que tú quieres hacer un montaje grande. O sea, estamos compitiendo con grandes, con gente que está haciendo grandes performances. Tú vas a querer hacer un gran performance. ¿Cómo te hace sentir que te estrenas ahora en tu gira mundial y cómo te estás preparando?
So I'm not thinking of it as competition. Really, it's like I think that my expression is unique, in the same way that any artist that you really love that has cultivated a body of work, it's unique. It's not like interchangeable with some other artists. It's like when you like Bad Bunny, right? You like Bad Bunny because he's Bad Bunny, right? And it's a personal thing, and it's not like another artist will just come in and replace that. And the more years you start to have with the fans, the less likely somebody's going to come in and replace you. The thing for me is being able to deliver at the highest level for me, right? So I'm definitely looking at everything that everyone is doing, but I feel confident that I have a unique expression that's not going to be just like anybody else's show. And training, lots of treadmill, like the treadmill. It's like trying to perform the records on the treadmill is like, that's the highest training for me, where you learn the breath control.
Sí, cantando y corriendo a la vez. Tienes
singing it. Yeah, that's really hard.
Sí.
That is really hard. So the design of the show too, where you have the super big, high tempo sections, and then go into a slower, quieter.
Ponme algo suavecito aquí para respirar, por favor. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. We won't be doing Jiggy and Miami back to back. No. Yeah. We're gonna space those
si
out.
Si alguien no quiere ser despedido de aquí, no me pongan esas dos canciones juntas en la vida.
Yeah, no, yeah. Exactly.
Tú tienes una canción con Bad Bunny y Marc Anthony cuando Bad Bunny venía bien, pero no era la mega estrella que es hoy. ¿Ya tú lo venías venir o sencillamente te cayó bien Bad Bunny y dijiste, vamos a montarnos en este tema, de esto está rico, o ya tú lo venías chequeando?
No, we knew he was the next one. That's what Marc Anthony was saying. He was like, no. He was like, this kid is the next one. He was like, we're doing it with him. So yeah, Marc knew it was coming.
Qué duro. ¿Qué tanto te influencia lo latino? Tienes una canción que tengo aquí en mis notas, que la tengo aquí, First Love, con India Martínez. Háblame de tu influencia latina. Sé que no todo el mundo desea saber español. Cuando yo veo un estadounidense tratando de hablar español y como preocupándose, ¿no? Porque como aquí en Estados Unidos, nosotros estamos ligados, los latinos con los estadounidenses y un sinnúmero de cultura. Pero, ¿qué tan comprometido estás con los latinos y la influencia de dónde viene?
So I think, well, first of all, I've always loved Latin culture. You know, I'm not sure that I believe in reincarnation, but the way that I like Latin culture, it seems like there might have been a time where, you know, I was in South America somewhere in a previous life, you know, so I don't necessarily talk about reincarnation, but when I go to sleep at night, my Latin vibes, I feel like, I don't know, maybe, you know, but I've always loved Latin culture. It's the only Spanish is the only language I've ever tried to learn. You know, I just think that the flavor speaks to my heart. You know, the music and food and just the energy of Latin culture.
And las babies también.
I know you see me. I'm like, all of that. And it's, you know, we were in Marbella, and I had seen a video of these young kids in Cuba learning flamenco.
Brutal.
And I was like, wow, it was Cuba and it was flamenco. And I saw an Instagram video of these kids dancing to this song, and I saw how they were looking at each other. And the song reminded me of First Love. They were like 12 years old, 13, but I just saw how the music and the dance, and they were just glancing at each other. And it reminded me of that feeling the first time that you're in love with somebody, and how before you know that your heart can be broken, before you know that you can get hurt, before you know that love can sometimes be painful, how wide open first love is. And I was like, wow, yes. And so I saw that video, and then I did a in Marbella, Antonio Banderas invited me. The light went out. Is that going to throw the look off? Is that going to throw
las luces? Porque esta entrevista no se puede dañar al final.
You know, because, you know, okay, yes, there it is.
Okay.
Yes.
No, después me cancela la entrevista.
Sure.
No.
Just making sure my black don't crack. You know. No, but anyway, Antonio Banderas invited me to an event in Marbella, and India Martinez performed.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the flavor. That's like that video, just the passion. I was like, yo, I have a song. I want to send you this song. And if you like it, I just think we can have a beautiful time with this concept. And she totally got it. She played instruments on it. She sang on it. She brought her team in and added to it. And then it's funny now that I'm thinking about it, it was like, all of it was from Instagram, right? I saw Marcine, the guitar player, on Instagram.
Okay.
And that's another one of the beautiful things of this world. You can just see something on Instagram and then hit DM somebody
Rápido.
and then record it. You can make a whole song.
Y tener un día de Will Smith. What?
Yes,
Will
exactly.
Smith?
Yeah. You can make a whole song without ever even being in the same room with somebody now. So all of that to say, like the idea of first love was about can we capture the feeling of first love as adults after your heart's been broken, right? And there's a great line in First Love that I really like, and it says, every heart will be broken, but what will we do with the pieces? And I think that that's a part of the concept of first love. Can you get wide open again, even knowing that people are human and, it may not be perfect? Can you still love fully? Yes, that's one of my favorite ones on the album.
Qué duro. Sé que tengo que cerrar la entrevista. Quiero adelantar que estoy sumamente agradecido de la oportunidad. Para mí esto es un sueño hecho realidad para mí. Y me veo al público que me sigue hace muchos años y que te sigue a ti, o sea, aquí en la plataforma, de tener aquí en MoluscoTV a Will Smith. Yo recuerdo como si fuera ayer que hubo un momento dado que tú te desapareciste y solamente te veía en Facebook con tus fotos y unos mensajes que yo quiero que tú nunca escribías. Que no sé si alguna vez lo llegaste a ver. Y yo decía, pero ¿dónde estará Will? Lo veo en películas y eso. Y de la noche a la mañana un día apareciste en Instagram y fue una locura mundial. Will Smith abrió Instagram. Yo, embuste, abrió Instagram.
Yeah.
Will, ¿qué? Y fue una locura. Empezaste con millones de seguidores, pero bien rápido.
Yeah.
¿Por qué no habías entrado en el mundo de las redes sociales cuando ya todo eso había explotado? Tú entraste muy tarde.
Yeah.
¿Por qué?
So, the era that I became a movie star, and the idea of being a movie star was people could never see you except on the movie screen. And the idea was if people saw you other places, like even TV, part of the reason why I stopped The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is because I wanted to pursue being a movie star. We probably could have done another year or two of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but the concept was if you're on television, that people aren't going to pay to see you in movies. And then that was my idea for social media. If you're on social media, that people are not going to pay to see you in movie theaters. But I was wrong. And I was really watching The Rock and Kevin Hart. And it was just confusing to me that they would show you the set, they would show you the wardrobe, they would show, it felt like they were giving everything away. And I was missing the idea that culture was shifting. And it's the other way. People aren't going to go see your movie if they don't feel included. It changed in the last 15 years. And when it changed, I just wanted to give it a couple of years to watch and see and understand. And then once I got it, then I started going into it. But for me, social media is a new art form. And, having, my career is, almost 40 years now, so I've seen huge transitions. But social media is a completely new way for human beings to interact. This didn't exist. You know, I've been watching the streamers play Black Boy Max and XQC, and so it's, and I know, but
Molusco, streaming Molusco.
And was it Molu?
El Molu.
Right. But what happens, like, they're reading, so the comments are going so fast, right? But they're reading the mood of people, even though they can't read the words, right? So they're screaming by, but they can see the mood of people based on what is being said from second to second. And I know I probably sound old when I'm saying that, but that's a new human communication that has never existed in the history of humanity, where you could share your art, you could share your thoughts, and second by second take the temperature of what people are thinking and feeling and make adjustments in the moment. Like, that is amazing.
Brutal.
To me. You know, so I'm really excited about how my creativity will blend with this new world and these new opportunities. And, you know, with AI now, who knows where creativity is going to go and how it's going to work in conjunction with human desires and arts and creativity. So, yeah. All of that to say, I'm very excited about this new world.
Sin duda alguna, sin duda alguna. Y yo creo que tomaste la decisión en el mejor momento y tu carrera literalmente no fue que cambió, fue que le diste longevidad. O sea, estiraste tu carrera. Hoy la gente puede saber más de ti, que es la que hay con Will Smith. Me parece maravilloso. Will Smith en Molusco TV. Ni en mis sueños más remotos realmente yo pensé entrevistarte. Muchas gracias, hermano. Éxito con tu disco. Un placer. Si quieres, cierra la entrevista diciéndole algo en español a todos los latinos que me consumen acá en Molusco TV.
Gracias por invitarme y es un gran placer, ¿cómo se dice? To meet you.
Conocerte.
Conocerte. This won't be the last time. This won't be la primera vez.
Muy bien.
Pero no la última.
No.
Yeah.
Te espero en Puerto Rico en mi estudio. Tengo un estudio. La próxima vez viajas tú, porque, o sea, ya yo viajé por ti, ahora tú viajas por mí.
I love that. Yes. Yes. I'm on my way.
Yes. West. ¡Ah! ¡Se jodió la entrevista, puñet!